Okay, this is Orlando Wilson, and what I want to talk about in this video is something to do with investigations, the investigations business. It's something I've bumped into a few times over the years, and it's something somebody just contacted me about recently. And that's what to do if there's recreational drug use, illegal drug use involved in an investigation, or you come across it, etc. Well, to be honest with you, there's not much you can do. You can log it, you can report it to the police. But generally these days in most places, the police are not worried about recreational drug use. So again, by barking too much about that, you can end up undermining an investigation because you're focusing on something which these days is not that big of an issue for most law enforcement. So how you present such things these days, you have to be very, very careful. I'll give you a couple of examples. I was working, or in some way still working, on a case out of Belgium, where a lady has been involved in a very bad car accident how many years ago, etc. And there's a lot of strange things that happened with her case, very strange things. And there's been, in my opinion, a lot of negligence, and there is one major issue which, in my opinion, and others' opinion, is criminal. But trying to get the police to pick up on it is difficult. Why? Because the police are busy, they have other things to do, and how things were initially presented, everything was screwed up. And again, if you're trying to get the police to pick up on something, understand the police are very busy most of the time, so they're not going to waste their time on non-issues. Why? Because they're busy. So if you present something in front of them, it needs to be pretty clear of what the issues are. Anyway, there's multiple things involved in this case. Going back a few years, we were making headway with this, police were listening, etc. And this lady, and we've called her out on this numerous times, has done a few things over the years to undermine her position. Went to the police we were dealing with, the cops we were dealing with, that were being very helpful at the time, and went off on them because she'd seen one of the people involved in this case, one of the people that was causing her problems, apparently taking cocaine in a bar in Antwerp. Antwerp is a major drug hub in Europe. It's one with that, and Rotterdam is where most of the cocaine coming in from Latin America is arriving in Europe. It's a drug hub. So for somebody to be taking cocaine in a bar in Antwerp is the same as somebody eating a hamburger in America. Same. I'm sure the law enforcement and politicians in Antwerp are doing everything possible to combat the issue, but the narcos have plenty of money, right? Leave it there. Anyway, this lady went to the police and reported this, and it's like, okay, it's a complete non-issue. And she made a big issue with the police over this after she was told not to. And again, if nothing else, we said to her, and I think the lawyer spoke to her as well, well, I know he spoke to her, saying, okay, prove it was drugs, prove what this person was taking was actually cocaine. And again, in most places, recreational drug use is virtually decriminalized, even if it's still criminal. People don't care. So there was no proof that even if this lady saw this guy and girl sticking a powdery substance up their nose, there's no proof it's cocaine. Also, you have to take into consideration filming those people in public, and I think Belgium's got pretty strict privacy laws. Again, you could be getting yourself into more trouble because you're in violation of privacy laws, etc., etc. So if you're doing surveillance you see such things happening, you've got to be extremely careful that you're not breaking the law by filming these people. And again, if you need to present that evidence, you have to be very careful how you present that evidence. Because again, there's no proof it's drugs. All it is proof of them putting something up their nose. Could be snuff. Could be anything. Now, as I said, in a lot of places, drug use, recreational drug use, is virtually decriminalized. Another example, years ago, me and one of my guys were walking up, we're in South Beach in Miami, walking up one of the back streets behind Pennsylvania Avenue, not a few blocks from the police station, right? And we're walking up there talking BS, and somebody threw something in front of us, a little baggie, one of the little drugs bags. It had something in it, I don't know what it was. We looked up and there's a guy looking at us over the balcony. We look behind us and there's another guy that's now terrified because I take it he just bought the drugs and they've been thrown to us, not to him, and whatever. What do we do about it? Smiled and kept walking. Not our business. Could we have reported it to the police? Sure. But if there's people selling drugs that close to Miami Beach police department, police station, well, I don't think the police are going to be particularly responsive, right? And if we did call the cops, what are they going to do? Send a patrol car an hour later, by which time all the kiddies would just disappear with the drugs, etc. So, non-issue. These days, drug use is prevalent. So again, you have to be very careful if you're reporting it. I have one case where, well, one issue of reporting, if somebody's addicted to drugs, they can play the sympathy card and get off with their drug use as being a victim, etc., etc. So you have to be very careful how things are presented. Now, going back even further, I'll give you another story. This is back in London this would have been the mid-90s. Somebody I was working for, they owned a security company. Nice guy, but how can we put it? A little bit of a hand grenade in himself. A little bit self-destructive. Him and his brother, there's both good guys, but out drinking in Brixton. And there's drinking as usual. The company owner was drinking way too much. He ended up, when they left, when it was closing time, when they left the bar, they left the pub, trying to buy some drugs, buy some hash off some kids on the street, some guys on the street, etc. These guys sold him what turned out to be an OXO cube. For those of you who don't know what an OXO cube is, it's like a beef stock cube. It's big in UK. So this guy realized that these drug dealers, well, wannabe drug dealers, fake drug dealers, had just taken his money for an OXO cube, a beef stock cube. So now, even though he was wasted, drunk, tries to get into a fight with these guys by hitting him with his motorcycle helmet because he arrived on his motorcycle. This was being witnessed by some cops that were there. It's closing time. They're watching what's going on. Now they see a drunk guy trying to hit some other guys with a motorcycle helmet. So the police come over and his brother made some excuses, and the company owner, that was the guy that was wasted, told the police that the reason he was trying to hit these guys with his motorcycle helmet was they sold him an OXO cube when he wanted to buy drugs, which the police found hilarious. So did the people that were trying to sell him the drugs. The police's main concern was that his brother got him into a taxi and got him home as quickly as possible and made sure that he didn't even attempt to get on his motorcycle. And if he did, he wouldn't have got too far before he wrapped it around a lamppost. So that was it. The cops weren't interested. They found it, from what I understand, they found the incident pretty funny. Because why? They got better things to deal with than people selling people OXO cubes. And again, if the guy was that drunk, he bought an OXO cube, well, best of luck to him, right? Buying OXO cubes is not illegal. So this is where, if you're involved in any investigations where drug use or any type of drug use is involved, recreational, prescription, etc., you have to be very careful how you present the case. And generally, as I said, it's a non-issue in most places these days. So it can be put in reports that people are seen taking things, but I'd be very apprehensive, especially if the paperwork you're putting in has to go to court, that you actually say that it's illegal substances, because that can you can end up being liable there and getting sued yourself. So, a little bit of advice there. In the meantime, follow me along on social media. We have a lot more videos going up. We've got a load up at the moment on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Our preferred platform at the moment is LinkedIn because it's a lot more professional. Also, check out my books on Amazon. I've got an array of books on various aspects of the close protection, investigation, kidnap and ransom business, etc. In the meantime, be good, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and don't go reporting people for buying OXO cubes. It's not illegal.